This man here and his son allegedly raped this 8-year-old girl from the age of 8 to the age of 13 until she passed away from the complications of this abuse. Before we go into the details of how everything went down regarding this girl, my name is Zaka Timothy and I give commentary on socio-political events. Do well to subscribe so that you get my videos in the future when I post. So we have a good news. Here's an update regarding the case of Aisha Wahab, who was kidnapped in Edo State a few weeks back. She has been released after the sum of 20 million naira was paid in full. If you don't know the details of this news, head over to my last video. You're going to see everything you need to know about this situation. The name of this girl is Ochanya, and she was just 5 years old when she was sent to her auntie's family in order for her to live while they help her with school. Before she passed, she actually gave an account of all that happened to her and what she saw in the house. Listen.
When I was 5 years old, I went to my mother's sister's house to school because there was no school in my village. So when I went there, when I was 8, the son started sleeping with me. Then when the sister caught him, the sister then reported him to the father. Then the father scolded at him, and that was when the father started. So September, when I went to school, I was not feeling fine, so I came back home. I went to Federal Medical Center in Makurdi here. I spent 2 months and 5 days there, so they discharged us. When I now came home, then that was when I told my mother that when I was in my uncle's house, my uncle and his son, they were sleeping with me. So when I told my mother that, my mother then told my elder sister. Then my elder sister now told this my auntie. Then I went and stayed with her. Then when I stayed with her, she now took me for checkup in Makurdi, in the hospital in Makurdi here. So when I went there, they checked. Then my mother now went and told the people that was what happened. When she told them, then when she told them, then they were not responding to anything. Then we came to report to the police headquarters here in Makurdi. That was how they brought the case into the court.
Now the summary of everything she said was that when she was age 8, this guy started touching her, raping her from both holes in her body, and then when the sister realized, she reported to the father, who scolded the boy and then joined the boy in this act. She actually passed away from vesico-vaginal fistula, which was due to the aftermath of everything that she has passed through in the hands of these people. Now, for context, the father, Andrew Ogbuje, is actually a polytechnic lecturer in Benue State. Now, when this whole thing happened, it actually gained a lot of public attention back in 2018 because a lot of human rights organizations actually went out there to march and to demonstrate that she gets justice. 7 years down the line, justice for Ochanya is still trending. This whole issue actually resurfaced again where a certain Obianuju demanded that Winifred, which is the sister to this boy, open her account for questioning in order for them to get details of what happened before and how it went down. And then everybody picked it up from there and the whole thing escalated all over again. Now the major bone of contention is that this case be reopened so that this girl can have justice. However, these persons have been acquitted before by a high court in Benue State over this same issue. What actually happened in details was that there were 2 different results, forensic results, one from the police and one from the federal hospital in Benue State. The one from the federal hospital in Benue State stated that she died from a natural cause, while the police forensic actually revealed that she died from a cause relating to the damage that has been done to her genitalia, which is the VVF that she died from. However, the auntie, which is the mother and wife of these people, actually was sentenced to 5 months imprisonment because she breached the duty of care to this girl. Now let us look at this whole thing in details. First thing is that you cannot tell me that this woman did not know of what was going on in that house, because it is practically impossible that this little girl under her roof is going through this kind of thing and she does not know. If she knew about it, what exactly did she do, or what are the steps that she took in order for her to take a drastic decision as regarding what has come into her notice? When her son was actually exposed that he was doing this, what she ought to have done is either return back the girl or do something or take drastic measures in order for this not to repeat itself in the future. But of course, because she wanted to conceal everything that was going on, she acted as though she didn't know, and this continued right under her roof. The same person that was brought into her care was left to suffer the worst form of abuse ever known to human. Let us assume that this boy stopped and the father never attempted. This guy is going to be so aggressive and so hostile to this little girl that she would not even have peace. Another thing we are not even looking at is that the father is actually a lecturer in a polytechnic. This is someone that is responsible for instilling character and intellect in young children. This is the same person that is entrusted with the lives of little girls in order for him to teach. Because everything, as we know, is alleged. We have heard and seen these things before, times without number, how lecturers from universities and polytechnics have been called out and have been caught red-handed doing all manner of things with children that they ordinarily would be old enough to birth. Now, it is so unfortunate that this girl passed, because if she didn't, this is the same person that will grow up to hate men and hate anything that has to do with men entirely. We are not looking at the trauma that comes with experiencing things like this, because it is so grievous that it can be passed from one girl to another, and that is why we have so much gender war and gender disparity as we have it today. These are one of the causes and these are one of the issues why we are where we are today. Now, we cannot deny the fact that it is really hard for you to expose a close relative like a brother, father or mother when things like this are going on. But for Christ's sake, even if you cannot expose it or tell the police and other agencies about it, the best thing you can do for the victim is expunge them or remove them from that particular situation where they are prone to facing this kind of thing in the future. The sister knew, the mother knew. The best thing they could have done to this girl is either send her back to her parents or remove her from every single situation by taking her out of the house or taking her to a different place if she feels that she cannot protect this child in any way or form. The best thing to do is to return her back to her parents or send her somewhere far away from her son or her husband. She knew all these things, but she did absolutely nothing about it. And the worst part is that she actually faced only 5 months in jail, not for the abuse or whatever it is that went on, but for just breaching the duty of care that she owed to this girl. Now, that is to tell you what else this little girl has been suffering in the hands of the family and even the woman. Because if she can be found guilty and liable for breaching the duty of care, what more has this girl been enduring other than the sexual assault that has been going on? My biggest advice to parents and to anybody in Nigeria that owns a child and is sending their child to any relative to take care of is that you should stop this habit and desist from it. If you cannot train your children, make sure that at every minute of the day you know what is going on with your child, because most of these children are traumatized and left to wallow into the society and propagate their trauma on other persons. This is very unacceptable. Yes, relatives can take care of other relatives. You need to know the state of mind and health of your children that you're sending out there, because this is the highest form of carelessness that anybody can ever exhibit. I cannot even begin to imagine what this young girl, this young Ochanya passed through, but I pray that she gets justice, even though these persons have already been acquitted. Please, I would love to hear your comments and opinions regarding this issue, and until I see you next time, peace.